Hello students, my name is Shelja and I'll be teaching you computer science. Today we'll be starting with the chapter 2 of your book, that is computer languages. Now this chapter will cover the following topics. First one is program and programming concepts, then machine language, third one assembly language, the next one is high level language, and the last one will be fourth generation language. Now let's start with the first topic, which is program and programming language. In your day-to-day lives, you people also use different languages like Hindi, English or any other regional language to communicate with your friends, relatives and parents. But when it comes to a computer, we can't use any of these languages as a computer cannot understand it. So, in order to communicate with the computer in an efficient manner, programming languages were developed. Now, what is a programming language? It is the language used by a computer to communicate with its users and components. And it is also used by the programmers to develop the applications, scripts or other set of instructions that are known as programs for the computer to execute. So we can say that when a computer wants to communicate with its components, like with its different parts, it uses this language. With the help of this language, different programs and different applications can be created. All these applications are developed by a programmer. Now, who is a programmer? A programmer is the person who develops these applications as per the requirements of the users, and these applications perform various operations in a computer. Now, what is a program? You can say that a computer program is a set or collection of instructions that are executed by the computer to perform a particular task. An example of a program is your Microsoft Word, your web browsers like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, and many more. The programming languages have been classified into two types. First is low-level languages, the second is high-level languages. Again, the low-level languages are of two types. First is machine language, second the assembly language. Also, the high-level languages are also classified into two types. First one is the fourth generation language, the second one is the fifth generation language. Our next topic is machine language. This language is also known as the first generation language. It is the only programming language that a computer understands. All the computers are manufactured in a way that it only understands machine language. It was the first ever language that was developed for computers. The machine code is represented inside the computer's memory by a string of binary digits 0 and 1. When the instructions are written in machine language, they are written as a series of 0 and 1 only. No other digit or alphabet is used in machine language. There are some advantages of using this machine language. The first one is very fast execution, efficient use of primary memory. It is very fast because the computer is easily able to understand this language. Then its disadvantages: it is very tedious, difficult and time consuming because to remember all these codes in the form of 0 and 1, it becomes very difficult, and to write all the instructions in the form of this, it is very tedious and thus it consumes a lot of our time. Our next language is the assembly language. It is a low-level language also known as second generation language. In assembly language, the operation codes and operands are given in the form of alphanumeric codes, also known as mnemonic codes, instead of zeros and ones. Thus, we can say that all the codes or symbols like plus and minus that are used in the machine language are replaced by alphanumeric codes. For example, we can use add for addition, This language was very similar to English, but still it was very difficult to master and needs a lot of practice. All the instructions are to be converted into machine code by using an assembler so that the computer can understand it. So we can say that the instructions that were written in assembly language by the programmer needed to be converted into the machine language so that the computer can understand it. This was done with the help of a device known as the assembler. There are some advantages of using this assembly language. First, efficient programs were created. The programs take less storage and they were very easy and faster to execute. The next topic that we'll be reading in our chapter is high-level language, which is also known as the third generation language. This language has a format which is very close to English language and enables the people to write programs easily. Most of the high-level languages are considered as procedure-oriented languages as it consists of the list of steps which tells the computer not only what to do in the program but also how to do it. All the instructions that are written in high-level language are to be converted into machine language using compilers so that the computer can easily understand them. And after compiling the instructions and producing the output, the instructions get translated back into a high-level language using interpreters so that the users can easily understand their output. Some of the languages that come under the category of high-level language are COBOL, Fortran, C, C++, Java, and Python. The last topic of the chapter is fourth generation languages. These languages are also known as non-procedural languages because they only specify what is to be done without giving any information about how the computer is supposed to do it. So, thus we can say that the computer can do the work on its own. The code of this language is very similar to 3GL but is very much closer to the human language, so it can be understood without any formal training. Some of the examples of 4GL are Oracle, PLSQL, and SAS.